Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, How to Own Your Farm and Sphere Through Direct Mail Marketing with our host with the most, Coach Darryl Davis. To get the most from today's webinar, we do want you to take really good notes, and we want you to use that Q&A panel there to ask any questions you might have. We are going to be taking those at the end, so if you don't have to leave, stick around. If you want to reach us at any time after today's webinar, you can reach us on all social media channels at Darryl Speaks. Darryl's the author of 3 books, all published by McGraw-Hill Publishers. That first one you see there, How to Become a Power Agent in Real Estate, is actually one of the best-selling books on Amazon to realtors. That's right.
That's right.
Darryl was named as one of the top real estate newsmakers by Risk Media Magazine this year in the Big-Hearted and Brave category. He is also the recipient of the coveted CSP designation, which is only given to less than 2% of speakers worldwide. And on that note, Darryl, I'm going to let you take it away. I know you have a lot to share today.
Yes, thank you, Julie. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this webinar. Get ready to take a lot of notes. Don't get overwhelmed. Somebody said, I hope to get a step-by-step in farming. And actually, that's how I wrote today. So I'm excited to share this with you. A few other things I want to cover before I get into the content. If you're new to this webinar, I just want to address this question. I mean, new to our webinars, right? Question, is it a sales pitch? No, it's not. But to be fully transparent, we started this weekly webinar training at the beginning of the pandemic. And this is for our members, our power agents. So some of you are on this call are guests. Guests are going to get a tremendous amount of value. But the reason why I'm sharing that up front now is because from time to time, I'm going to have a sidebar conversation to point something out to power agents. But again, even if you're a guest, get ready to take a lot of notes. You're going to get a tremendous amount of value. Now, with that said, people always ask what's a power agent. So let me just get that out of the way really quick, and then we'll get into this. Our monthly membership, it's locked in. People that sign up now, they get grandfathered in at this lower price of $47 a month. But if you're a guest, you can actually get full access and check it out for only $5 at the end of the webinar. You have complete access to the website, everything that we have to offer. And the bonuses today, I'll show you those. They're off the hook awesome. And it's really worth to sign up for that $5 just to get that trial, to get those bonuses. And you can cancel anytime. Now, with that said, I do want to talk to the power agents just for 2 minutes, and then we'll get into the specific content. Power agents, I want you to know this morning I just posted an article about, you'll see right there, it says what to do about inaccurate Redfin and Zillow home value estimates. It's from Investopia. It's a great article to use as an objection handler. So read through it, and you can highlight some of those things to show a homeowner. I mean, you should never use Zestimates to figure out the value of your home. It says in there you should work with a professional. Second announcement for power agents. Last week, we did our brainstorming session. We had over 200 power agents on this 2-hour brainstorming. It was off the hook awesome. It was so awesome. What Julie did is she took that recording and basically summarized, and what came out of it was 6 powerful ideas. And I got to tell you, power agents, in my opinion, that one session is probably worth the whole year of the membership because of the value that came out of it. So we're really excited about that. I think this is the last thing I want to tell power agents. We just launched this week what I'm about to show you. If you go to the dashboard, it says how-to tutorials. You'll see all these videos, but the one I want to point out to you is the power agent onboarding program. It's really quite awesome. So power agents, check it out, because when you click on it, it goes through a series of modules. And this is a screenshot of module 1. And I've got to squint here to look at it. It tells you you should download your time management calendar. And when you click on that, it'll actually bring you to the calendar, the power agent directory. You click on that. So there's these little homework assignments to help you get the most out of the program. And it'll bring you to sections of the site. So we're really excited that we added that for you as well. Okay. Let's get into this topic, and here we go. What are the advantages of direct mail marketing? What are the advantages? Let me highlight some of these. Now, let me just tell you something. I've been a big promoter of social media, and we should still use social media. We should have a social media marketing plan. But let me tell you, there's huge benefits right now to going, what's that expression thing? What's old is new again. One of the great things about direct mail marketing is after a while, business starts coming to you. How many of you would like homeowners to call you up and say, you know, we're thinking about selling. We've been getting your information. Could you come over and list our property? Second thing is there's no more cold calling, because what happens is when you do direct mail marketing, you're planting the seeds, you're paving the way to start and already have a warm conversation because they've seen you. My definition of self-promotion is to have people know your name, face, and what you do for a living. And when you do direct mail, that's exactly what it does. It's putting your face out there and your name, and it's saying what you do for a living. Third thing, it's a non-threatening way to prospect. You know, this is when it's a numbers game when you're doing direct mail. You're throwing stuff up against the wall, see what sticks. But if you do it consistently, you'll start to see that return. Number 4, it creates a steady flow of income. Let me tell you something, ladies and gents. There is actually, you can actually count on, almost like scientifically, that if you mail X amount of people in a particular area based on the turnover of that area and based on the number of mailings, that eventually you can almost count on so many listings, so many sales consistently every month. Cash flow. Now, the thing about farming, it takes time when you're doing direct mail and farming. But let's continue on some of these other benefits. And this is why I'm so hot on direct mail right now. You know what? Here's one of the statistics. Up to 90% of direct mail gets open compared to only 20 to 30% emails. Do you see that stat? That's according to the Direct Mail Marketing Association. They did a study on this. Let me tell you why that is because you all know that our emails, it's so loud. Social media is so loud. There's so much junk email coming. There's so much noise on social media and Facebook and LinkedIn, etc. But if you look at your mailbox, it's kind of empty. Listen, well, here's what I'm trying to say. The mailbox, you have no competition. So while Warren Buffett said it, when people are zigging, you got to zag. Go where everybody isn't. That's one of his investment philosophies. So if everybody's talking about social media, videos, where you need to be is in people's mailbox. Here's something else. 44% of people can recall a brand immediately after seeing an email versus 75% after direct mail. So again, the definition of self-promotion, have people know your name, face, what you do for a living. You get a better return, almost double, as far as people owning in their mind you as the real estate professional in their market. Number 7, advertising mail is kept in a household for 17 days. Where email, 17 seconds. Come on now, you all know when we open up our email, what do we do? What are we committed when we open up our email? What are we committed to? I'll tell you, deleting. When we open up our email reader, we're looking, let me delete all the junk first so then I can focus on what I want. Mail requires 21% less cognitive effort than processing an email. It's just easier for some reason to see the printed word. I just found this website, Who's Mailing What. I just love this. There's so much great content in there. And they're finding that there's an increase now in postcard mailings that they've seen over the past couple of years. Here's something else, another study I want to share with you. The percentage of items with initial actions taking when the item is logged. If you'll notice, opening it, getting direct mail is so powerful as far as the return on people interacting with it. Let me show you another one. The response rate, when you compare it to email, online advertising, social media, look what overshadows them all, direct mail. So I'm really obviously making a point here, gang, on how powerful direct mail is. Look at this. Do you see that company in the bottom right-hand corner? This is a postcard, by the way. This is a postcard. Do you see it at the bottom? Well, who's at the bottom? LinkedIn. Come on now. You got a social media company called LinkedIn using direct mail. There must be a reason. Wait, let's check this out. PayPal. There's another tech company using mailings. That's not a postcard. That's a letter that they put in an envelope that they mail to people to promote PayPal. Some of you probably got a PayPal letter in the mail. But wait, look at this. Google sending postcards talking about Google My Business. Now, if you've got these tech giants who are using direct mail, there must be something to this. And by the way, for those tech giants, their advertising in social media is free. Why would they spend the money to mail stuff out? Because their return is so high. So let me give you your direct mail campaign. Somebody said, Darryl, I need step-by-step. Here it comes. And then I'm going to break it down. In your first month, let's pretend we're all starting over. The first month, here's what I want you to do. You got to prepare, right? And I'm going to show you how to prepare to get ready to do a direct mail campaign. Once you're done with your prep, you're going to start and launch a 2-month supercharged mailing campaign. Now, I'm going to give you an insight to what the supercharged mailing campaign is. When we hear direct mail and farming, we usually think what? Every month, once a month, bada bing, bada bing, bada bing. Okay. The 2-month supercharge is you do it every other week. Therefore, in the first 2 months, you're going to be mailing twice. Bada bing, bada bing. 4 times in 2 months. That's a supercharge. Now, when you do that, then you go to monthly. So I'll show you that later. Month 3, you're going to start calling after the supercharge is gone. So after you've done your 4 mailings, now you're going to start calling. Then what you're going to do, also, you're going to start your monthly mailing after the supercharge. And then the last thing is you're going to start visiting door to door. That is your direct mail marketing campaign. We're going to go through this now as to what to do and what to send out. In preparation, so if we're starting scratch, how do we prepare for our direct mail? You want to establish some kind of niche. So the most common is geographic. You know, people always ask me, Darryl, how many people should I have on my farm, in my mailing? More is better. This is a numbers game. You're throwing stuff out. So whatever you can afford monthly. So you've got to consider your postage and the printing and everything else. A good rule of thumb, just say $1. It'll come out less than $1, but if you figure $1, that's $500. If that's your budget, $500 a month, you got 500 pieces. So we might say geographic is one, but there's other niches that you can mail and promote to. You can do a price range. You can say that there's a subdivision over here where is ritzy glitzy, and I want to do the luxury over there. That's okay. Here's another one. And by the way, the price range, there could be some expensive properties over here, some over here. It's not geographic necessarily. All right. In other words, it's condos and co-ops. One of our power agents, our VIP power agents, they actually focus on condos and co-ops because where they live, there's a lot of those. And that's a different type of niche. Those of you that do condos, you got to deal with the boards and approvals and the bylaws. It's a whole other animal. Style of home. You may decide, it's not geographic. I want to focus on a style. My broker, I see Eric Riley was on the call. Shout out to Eric. My broker, my mentor, Mac Levitt, his focus was waterfront. In the beginning of his career, he was called Mac Levitt, the waterfront specialist. That was his slogan. He knew waterfront. He would know high tide, low tide. He'd only show properties when it was high tide. He had a chart. He knew everything about how much it cost. So when you focus on a niche, you can become an expert and an authority, and it gives you more credibility. When I say ethnic, fair housing people, don't get weirded out. I'm not we had one agent name was Sue Wong in my company, Korean lady, lovely lady. Because Korean culture, she was Korean, so she focused. A lot of people in the Korean culture came to Sue because she knew what they wanted and the relationship and the family and the events and etc. Working with investors, that's another one. Working with investors is another animal. They don't buy with emotion; they buy based on the numbers. Retirees, first-time buyers. So there's some examples. So here's the punchline. Number one is decide your niche. Again, the most common is geographic. Number 2, look for a niche that hasn't been exploited. I'm going to go back to my broker, Mac. Because Mac, when he came to waterfront property, he basically owned that niche. In Oceanside, Long Beach, Alabama. People, if you were going to try and do waterfront, you were going to compete with him. It wasn't a good idea. So it's better if you can find an area or a niche that one agent hasn't exploited and owns it. I'm not saying that you stay away from it totally. It's just if you are going to compete with another agent that owns that area, your marketing is going to be a little bit different because now you're going to be on listing appointments. That name's going to come up. You're going to have to change a little bit in that regard. But it's always better to find one that hasn't been exploited. Number 3, determine the number of people in your farm. Now, let me try. I'm not going to do this with you now. I'm just going to give you a concept because this numbers, we can get lost. It's very boring. So I'm going to give you a concept. When you're trying to determine how many people in the farm, one of the great resources that's free to us as realtors is RPR, Realtors Property Resource. And what you can do is you can go in there. And by the way, Power Agents, we did a deal with RPR where we actually interviewed them. They did a whole teaching class, and you can access RPR through the Power Program website. So we love RPR for agents. So anyway, one of the things you can do is you can look at an area and dive into the statistics about the turnover, the price of properties, what's happening. So RPR is a good resource for you to help you determine that geographic. This is the part I don't want to get lost in the weeds on. So I'll try not to anyway. So you'll see here in the spreadsheet that we created, and this is an example, there's 3 possible areas that an agent can decide based on the number of homes. You see at the top it says 150, 200, 250. So remember how I said, the higher you go, the better it is. But watch this here. So this is the biggest farm area with 250. But when you go through the math, the return on investment of postage and mailings is 1,000% based on turnover and da-da-da-da. If you look at the 200 area farm, it's a different area. The return on investment is 1,600. Like I said, I'm not going to go through all this because it's complicated. It's complicated for me to do it quickly. So what I did was, Power Agents, if you go to the classroom and then you go to farming and self-promotion, which, by the way, everything I'm teaching is in that tab, Power Agents, you will see that there's a video that goes through that calculator and explaining all of that. I'll try and give you a broad stroke concept for the guests as well, that based on the area's turnover rate, based on the average sales price, and based on the cost to promote, will tell you if you spend $500 a month for a year, $6,000, how much potential commission does that $6,000 in a year give you back? That was the return on investment number. So in that spreadsheet, it showed that 200-person farm area would actually be better than the 250. So that's it. All right, now, if you are competing against another agent, you've got to know your competition's strengths and weaknesses. And the reason why is what I said something earlier. If you're going to go into an area that an agent is number one in that area, it's going to come when you start getting calls on your mailing pieces. You're going to have to answer that question. Well, how are you different from Hana? And so you're going to have to know what their strengths and weaknesses are so you can address that question. And last, I think this is the last tip on preparing, is make sure you get an appropriate photo. In other words, it's got to look like you. Remember back in years ago, there was, what were those things called? They were the glamour shots.
Glamour shots.
Glamour shot. Like you have one of those where it touches you, like you're trying to be a movie star. And then people would get your card and they would look at the card and say, who's this? It's not this is a different, I want to meet this person. So make sure it looks like you. Guys, don't use your high school photo when you had hair. So here's an example. This is not an appropriate photo. I don't know what he's holding in his hand. I think they outlawed those because you can't find them anywhere, a phone with the cord. And then this one, this is not good. You should not tell him, say, hi, I'm an alcoholic. Not good advertising. So make sure your photo is appropriate. Okay. Number 6, I got some more. Number 6, save enough money for 6 months of campaign. So here's the thing about now listen, Power Agents and guests, I am a fan of using the telephone and prospecting. Why? Because it costs zero money to prospect that way. Calling FSBOs, expires, houses for rent, the things, and Power Agents, you know that there's all this other training that we have for you on how to do the listing appointment, negotiate offers, everything. And one of them is calling FSBOs and expires. That's my personal favorite. But this is such a valuable thing I want you to consider, but I don't want you to start spending money until you have at least 6 months of mailings, because it's going to take that long for you to start getting the phone calls to pay for itself. So this is an investment in time. Also, you want to make sure, and this is what I'm showing you here, when you're doing direct mail, it's supported by some other items, right? So you're not just mailing, but you're actually supporting it with telephone calls and market updates and etc. Okay. Number 8 is make sure you do have a CRM that you're using, because what you want to do is, gang, what farming is in direct mail is to make your phone ring. That's number 1. So number 2 is you want to know who you're mailing to and what the response rate is, right? So this is all managed in your CRM. So to not have a CRM that you're familiar with is going to make it more difficult, right? So make sure you have a CRM software. Now, Power Agents, you know that we have for you the Power Builder, which is an incredible CRM. This is an example. You see, when you have your leads or your mailing list in your CRM, then you can have specific letters with their names in it or their experience. So you can really start to customize your mailings when you're using your CRM. So number 9 is develop your list. So how do you develop your list? Well, you obviously have past clients and but if we're talking about cold lists, like you're going to do geographic, how do you find it? I'll give you a couple of suggestions. One of the vendors that we push the heck out as much as we can, because I think it's an essential tool. Like we have essential tools in real estate, a car, our cell phone. To me, RedX is one of those essential tools that agents should have. And this is why Power Agents, you get a huge discount, because I shook these guys down and got you the best deal that nobody else has. A whole free month, you don't pay the setup. But anyway, you'll notice in the RedX account, so this is not ours, it's a separate company that we push, but we always negotiate for our Power Agents. You'll see it says Geo Leads right there in the color. What happens with the Geo Leads is you punch in, let's say, an address. This is perfect for geographic. And you say, I want to see all of the homes in this area around that address. Now, you'll notice some are grayed out because it says, show me properties that were owned at least 2 years. So you can actually dwindle down the list if you wanted to. So the ones that are in gray means they just bought that house less than 2 years. So you may not want to mail to, I think you should mail to everybody because you never know. So it's easier to. But what happens with the Geo Leads, then you download the list. Now look at this. This is an Excel spreadsheet. This is what I love about RedX's Geo Leads, is because now you buy the list and you own the list. Some of these places you rent the list. Now you own this list. You buy it one time, bada bing. And it gives you all the contact information, phone numbers, and then you upload it into your CRM. Another option is cold directory. Now, the thing about cold directory, they're super expensive. But with those folks, it will tell you the household average income. Do they have children? Are they a white collar or blue collar worker? Do they have a pool? I don't know, the blood type maybe. But the point is they got everything. And that's why you get what you pay if it's more expensive. Now, Power Agents, we have a coupon for you guys. It saves you how much, Julie? I think $450.
I think it's $200.
Yeah, $450. So Power Agents, just know, if you're going to do that, know that you have a coupon there. Now, and also Power Agents, because we're so passionate about these two vendors, what we did with the cold directory, we had them do a webinar, the 3 winning formulas to maximize your prospecting. And it was really great. That's in the webinar demand for you, okay? Now, let's talk about the Supercharge campaign. How does that look? What are we going to do? So I told you, gang, we're going to do 2 months of Supercharge every other week. So the first thing you should send out, starting from scratch, is an intro letter, introducing yourself to the farm area. By the way, I love letters and postcards combo, okay? So postcards are cheaper, but letters have a higher return as far as response rate because people open it up, they read it. So week 3, remember I said we're going to do every other week. So if you send them a letter, 2 weeks later, you send them a postcard. Then 2 weeks later, you send them another letter. And I'll give you examples of postcards and letters during the webinar. Then you go back to another postcard. So you're rotating. And again, the postcard, it helps. It's cheaper to mail it out, right? So you can do a standard rate as opposed to first class rate. Week 9, you're now going to start calling and offering people value. Now look at the screen, gang. See what happens is bada bing, they got touches from you. Touch. Now when you call them in week 9, your dialogue, I'll show you that too, is like, hey, I've been mailing you stuff. Have you been getting it? Yes, I've been getting it, Darryl. Thank you very much. So now it's not cold calling. Yeah. Okay. And then also you're going to start your monthly campaign in week 9. Okay. Now, one of the questions we get is, let me go back before I show you this, a reveal. Power agents have been saying, Darryl, how can we do the print online and mail out? Do you have any recommendations? So I'm going to give you some recommendations, but I want to just say some power agents. We are talking now to really 2 companies. We've narrowed it down. We're very excited about one of these 2. We're negotiating a deal, power agents, that it'll be in the website for you. And all of our power agent material will be able to use with this company. So we're excited. But in the meantime, I don't want to hold anybody back. If you're going to start mailing and you want to start mailing right away, here's a couple of companies that I researched for you and I think are really good contenders for you to consider. So 48hourprint.com, they had a really good, I looked at their prices. I'm telling you, gang, when I write my webinars, I write the webinars. So I research this stuff to help you to make it easy. So I looked at about a dozen online print companies. I like these guys. The price looks good. Here's another one I got for you, Vistaprint. Now, what I love about Vistaprint is they have other little tchotchkes you can have. And when you open up an account, it keeps a history of your orders, and you can build your list. You see there, number 2 on the screen, build the list. So you can actually buy a mailing list from them as well. And they'll mail it out for you. Same with the other one. Print Runner, same thing, good pricing. They have lists that you can download. They print it out, mail it out for you. So you'll see it says you can upload your own artwork there as well. Okay, so those are and that's the idea too, gang. What you do is you can create your own images if you want, and then just use them to do the printing and mailing for you. Okay, so intro letter. Here's an example of the intro letter. Dear Hannah. My name is Darryl Davis. I specialize selling homes in the area. I've chosen your area because it's a delightful, pleasant, and convenient place to live. Not to mention the fact that I live in the neighborhood. Now, you should edit this, right? If you don't live in the neighborhood, you don't say that. As second paragraph, as you probably know, our town is going through renaissance. I said that because that could go either way. So this letter is good for a seller's market or a buyer's market. It's a renaissance. I've enclosed a flyer of a home that I'm currently marketing, or my office is currently marketing. So that's the intro letter. By the way, what's not here on the screen for a concept, you should print this on your letterhead that has your photo. What did I tell you, gang? Self-promotion is about having people know your name, your face, and what you do for a living. So when you see a letter here, your job is to put it on your letterhead with your photo. Power agents, that letter that I just showed you is in the farming and self-promotion. You can edit that letter because it's a Word document, power agents. Also, let me show you just some postcards. I'm going to show you some other postcards later, but here's an oh, no, I'm not. Sorry. Yes, that's a screenshot of a postcard, but I'm going to show you some other letters. Here's one. Dear neighbor, I'm delighted to announce I just sold a home located at Bada Bing. So there's another good letter. This one, I love this one. Dear Hannah, I thought you'd like to know the following homes have sold in your subdivision. The reason why I like this letter, because it says, gang, here's some homes that have recently sold in your subdivision. Now, does it say that I sold them? No. But because I'm telling the neighbors, here's what's, and it's on my letterhead, it creates a subliminal, like I sold it. I didn't say it did, but it creates, because again, the purpose of mailings, gang, is to have people know your name, face, and what you do for a living. And you be consistent with sticking your face and your name and what you do for a living in front of them. This one over here, I just want to tell you, Mr. and Mrs. Hannah, here's what's happening in the neighborhood. Here's all the properties sold in the last 30 days. And here's some new homes for sale. So anyway, there's that. Here's some postcard ideas. Wondering what your home is really worth in today's market? Find out for free. Now, let me tell you, power agents, now guess, you can create your own, like what I'm about to show you. is one of the things to get people to respond to your mailings is you want to offer something of true value that is, and it's free. So, for example, this is a postcard. It says, get a copy of your 40-plus page home seller's guide to real estate. Now, PowerAge, this thing is incredible, this that we designed for you. And yes, maybe you can find this maybe your company has something, I don't know. I think ours is, of course, the best in the industry. And it goes through and explains to a homeowner about selling, the whole process. It gives them tips. But subtly throughout the whole thing, it's really validating you as a realtor, because at the bottom of every page is your contact information. That last page has your contact information. So it's branding you. Now, here's what you do is you mail out a postcard about, hey, if you want this free report, it's over 40 pages. It's not even a report. It's really a book. Then what they do is they go to a landing page. Now, this screenshot is a little fuzzy. I apologize. I didn't do this right, but it looks better. Have you ever gone to those landing pages? This is what's called a landing page. Like when you signed up for this webinar, some of you went to a page. Like if you go to poweragentwebinar.com, poweragentwebinar.com, that's a landing page. And it says, hey, Darryl's teaching this webinar. Here's the top, here's the bullets, and you filled out a form. It's the exact same technology. It's the same thing. You, instead of just talking about a webinar, you say, hey, I got this guide for you. And then when people fill it out, it's actually going into your CRM. Now, that becomes part of your mailing campaign, these people that you're going to follow up with them. Here's another example. Is get a copy of a 30-plus page moving guide. Now, who the heck is going to respond? If you send out a postcard, that's a pretty postcard, isn't it? I love my team. They're talented. They're very talented graphically. Anyway, so shout out to Camille, our staff person there. Now, when they see this guide, it says an easy move guide. It's free, sure. Who would ask for a guide about moving? Somebody who's thinking about selling. So if you send out 500 pieces and you get 10, let's say 10 people ask for that, those 10 you're going to follow up with on a phone call. Here's another one, a buyer's guide. Get a copy of the 35-plus page buyer's guide of real estate. It's just beautiful stuff. So these are examples of value-added pieces. Here's one I just had Camille design for the Power Agents because this is the bomb over here. Even the CEO of Zillow thinks you should ask a real estate agent what your home is worth. Thinking of selling your home? Don't make the mistake of using Zestimate to determine your home's value. Gang, we got to get the message out to all the homeowners. Don't use Zestimates. This is the postcard, the front of the book. I'm going to show you this is the back of the postcard. I'm going to zoom in on this. Look at this. In a prominent Market Watch article, Spencer Rascoff, the Zillow's former CEO, said, we call it a Zestimate and not a Z appraisal and not a Z price. It's meant to be a starting point. To determine a more accurate opinion of a home's value, you should hire a real estate agent. The CEO of Zillow said you should hire a real estate agent. Zestimates is merely a marketing tool to catch people's attention, but you should not rely on it to determine the value of your home. It goes on. Buyers, banks, title companies, etc. They don't use Zestimates. They don't even use estimates. They use a specific data and formal appraisal to determine your home's value as a licensed real estate agent in the state. And you put in your name or that you put in your state because these are customized. I have access to that data, and I'm happy to share with you in my neighborhood market report for this free. I'm going to tell you something. You know what the value of doing a mailing like this? Even if nobody responded, I think it's important as an industry. We should be telling people this kind of stuff. Zestimates is a marketing gimmick. It is not really what real estate is based on at all, okay? Anyway, let's go on. Take a deep breath, everybody. Here's another one. Dear Hana Hana. I like to meet these people. Who's Hana Hana? There's got to be a Hana Hana family out there somewhere, Julie. Hi, Mr. Hana Hana, Mrs. Hana. Hope this email finds you out. Now, this is an email, but you can convert it into a letter. And it basically is offering a home staging. So if you have a vendor like a home stager, you can do a deal with the home stager. Say, listen, I'm going to mail out to my farm 500 people. I want you to give them a 50% discount. I ain't asking you to pay for postage. I ain't asking you to pay for anything. I'm asking you to do the payment on only people who ask for the staging. You'll get half the money, plus maybe you can upsell them if you want. So anyway, this is a great idea. Here's another one. An over-the-phone market analysis. You tell a homeowner, listen, I can tell you how much your house is accurately with our scientific data, but I can do it over the phone. And what happens is when you do a free over-the-phone market analysis, you're going to give the homeowner a range. To get a more specific number, you need to see the house. So what this does, gang, the idea of doing a mailing of a flyer over the phone is to say, yeah, I'll you see, there's some homeowners that are curious about to know how much their house is worth, but they don't want to sit through a sales pitch, right? But over the phone, so it'll help people. They'll feel safer to call you. And then you build a rapport. Hi, Mary. Yes, can I ask you some questions about the house? So you're building the relationship on the phone. And then when you tell them over the phone the range, say, listen, Mayor, if her name is Mary, Mayor, if you want to know a more accurate number, I need to come over and see the house. Listen, I'm going to be over in the area tonight. I can stop by with 6 or 7, be better. Bada bing. Okay. And there's a cover letter, Power Agents, for the concept of the free over-the-phone market analysis. So that would be a letter mailing piece. Now, here's another one, a neighborhood market report certificate. Find out what your neighbors paid for their home. You see that sometimes? I love that because people are nosy. They want to know what my neighbors sold for that, paid for that house. They just moved in. So anyway, this is essentially a CMA. But Power Agents, we tell them we encourage you to use neighborhood market report because civilians don't know CMA. But neighborhood market report says what it is. It's a report about the neighborhood and about the market, and plus you find out what your house is worth when you have all that information. So, and then you can do a cover letter with that certificate. Certificates seem more official and more of a gift when you do that. Okay. But by the way, I want to do a check-in over here because I see a lot of people commenting a couple of things. Number one is if you have a question, you can write your question. You may not see it pop up yet because we hold it for the end of the webinar. So you can ask your questions and just don't freak out if you don't see it pop up yet. We'll do it at the end. But in the meantime, how are we doing? I want to check in with everybody. Are you learning anything? What's your favorite thing that you learned so far? Do me a favor, throw that in the chat right there. Plus, it'll be a good test to make sure that it's working. Right, Julie?
The Q&A, not the chat. The Q&A.
I'm sorry, not the chat. The chat's not working. It's turned off. The Q&A, click on the Q&A and do me a favor. Just tell me what's your favorite part that you learned so far because I like to see that and make sure I'm on target over here. Okay, let's talk about prospect. Are you guys learning anything? That's the point. Are you learning anything? Let me know that you are, okay? Let's talk about prospecting dialogue. So after you've done your mailings, what you now want to do is start doing your follow-up. That's part of the campaign. So now, Power Agents, you know there's a tremendous amount of dialogue that we've given you, but let me focus on the dialogue specific on the farming. You know, one of our Power Agents, Dennis, said, he loves the membership. I appreciate you don't have a set prospecting methodology, but allow members to pick the method that matches your personality traits. I'm being hosed down by great ideas. Now, I want to just tell you, the reason why I put Dennis there, and I see everybody, are you learning? Very good. I see fantastic from somebody, that Cold Director, you love that. Suwong told me I had 2 ears and 1 mouth. That was from Eric Riley. The Zillow postcard. Great. Keep it coming, gang. I want to see what you're learning, and I'm reading these. The Zillow card is fantastic, isn't it, Lottie? That's so. Marilyn Urso is on the call. Yes, the guides are off the hook. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, guys. I see this. Emily, great tips. Love it. You put a big smile on my face. Thank you, Emily Chang. I appreciate that. So here's the thing about the prospecting, and I want to highlight what Dennis said, is that sometimes we can get confused or overwhelmed of what prospecting should we do. Telephones, FSBOs, expireds, direct mail, social media, videos online, open houses, which is the best one? It's the one that you're going to use. And that's what Dennis is saying. My job as a coach for our Power Agents is to give them options, but you should use whatever you love. So like all of the stuff I was just showing, the flyers, the postcards, there's a lot. There's a lot to choose from. None of them, it's like a diet, which is the right, perfect diet. You got the Atkins, and you got the Weight Watchers and the Noom, but it's the one you're going to do. It's the one you're going to use, right? Okay. So let me go back to the calling on the phone. So after you've been mailing people, this is hi, this is Darryl, this is Power Realty. How are you? Fine. I hope I'm not interrupting you. The reason why I'm calling is I've been sending you some information about the market to keep you informed about what's happening in the neighborhood. Have you been getting it? They're going to say yes, because what did we do? We did the supercharge campaign, not the monthly, bada bing, every 2 weeks, right? Then we call. Hi, it's Darryl. Oh yeah, we've been getting your stuff. So the other reason why I was calling is one of the things that we're offering I'm offering the neighbors is our free report. It's a seller's guide in selling your home. Not that you're thinking of selling now, maybe you are, but it's a great report. It's over 40 pages that I wrote and put together for the neighbors. Would you be interested in me sending it to you? Because it's a big thing. I didn't want to just mail it to you without asking. Or you can offer something like the free over-the-phone market analysis, and you can explain. Let me read this style because I love this. So why we think this is really important is because for most people, their home is one of their most important assets that they have. And just like if somebody had a stock portfolio, periodically you should get an update on how your portfolio is doing. Well, we feel that homeowners should do the same thing with their home. So we're offering this over-the-phone market analysis. You know, one of the other analogies that I use for this market analysis, it's like a physical. Like you should have a physical done once a year to make sure you're still healthy and what's going on. You got to make sure your home is still healthy and how it's what's going and what's impacting the value. So you should have it done like a checkup physical. You should have a CMA, market analysis, whatever, neighborhood market report once a year. Okay, let's talk about monthly mailings. This is a fire hose. Don't get overwhelmed. It's that ideas. My job, this is how I teach, unfortunately. I give way more than you could ever do because, like Dennis said, I want you to, if you don't like it, forget it. But you like that, good. So, okay, let me show you a bunch of stuff. Now, by the way, I just want to highlight once again how important this conversation is. You see, DoorDash is a tech company. And what is this? You're looking at the screen. This is a postcard. So a tech company is using a postcard. You see this? Uber Eats. Tech company using a postcard. This is a slide. It's a charging thing. Square, not slide. Square. Same thing. Tech company using postcards. So if you at Amazon, Google Ads, Paycom, Uber Eats, all of these companies, they're using postcards, ladies and gents. Hello, there must be a reason. Powerful stuff. Okay. Now, Power Agents, a ton. The website has over 600 things for you, and every one of them is customized. And by the way, we added Spanish this year too. So because some Power Agents, their market is Spanish, so we actually translated everything, and we keep doing it. Let me show you just some examples of postcards. Your house is in high demand. I have multiple buyers looking for homes in your area. Ming, I love this. This over here, I love. Your house is in high demand. I've got multiple buyers looking. Come on, tell me that wouldn't make somebody call out of curiosity. We just designed this this week for our Power Agents. Ready to sell. And it shows, look, just sold, just sold, just sold. I love how you can show 3 houses on a postcard, similar to that letter that I showed you earlier. Here's another one. Now watch this. This is good for renters. Like if you want to get some buyers, let me show you this. If you're still renting, you're missing out on the benefits of home ownership, building your equity, receiving tax benefits, stabilizing payments, building credit, freedom from your landlord. And then on the front of this, it shows if you're paying $1,000 in rent, it's probably more like $2,000, right? You're paying $2,000 10 years. Look what you paid. Huh? Come on now, $240,000. And you know what you got in return? Nada. Tell me that's not going to have a buyer get motivated, right? Okay, here's another idea. If you want to jot down this company, they're in Australia. I think it's a great idea. It's a puzzle print. What you do is you send them an image, and they take your image and they print it on a puzzle. So that what you could do, it's a lumpy mail piece. This is what it's called, lumpy mail. You take the puzzle undone in an envelope, mail that out. So it's more expensive, but that's once in a while you do some really high-end mailing pieces. This one over here, all of their stuff. I know Sarah's going to love this because Sarah is a green person. Anything that helps the planet, she loves it. These postcards or mailing pieces, like that's a bookmark, and blah, blah, blah. You actually, they're seeds. You can plant them in the ground and it grows plants. Isn't that cool? I love that. That's a cute idea. Here's some other things. Top 10 project. People, they're still improving their shelter-in home, right? So going to Home Depot. What's going to give you the highest rate of return on money invested on your home? A serious seller's quick list. If you're looking to sell your property, here's some quick tips, really good. This is good for FSBOs as well, by the way. These are just value things to send out to people, school zone safety. Here's a little slowdown and helping the community. When you send something like this, also, not are you only helping the community, but what are you saying about you? You're saying about you that you care about children, you care about safety. So it's a value piece, but it's also a branding piece as well. Here's your home is where the heart is. This is great. So what this one is, gang, is telling people that you've chosen a charity, and what you're going to do is, for a period of time, you're going to donate part of your revenue to a charity. So I think that's something you should do. We did that at the beginning of the year with Feeding America. We from January to was it June or June? June. We raised enough money. We paid for our company 100,000 meals because of the pandemic and food insecurity. So we were passionate about that. We have other charities now that we're working on. But anyway, so working with any stores, local stores, negotiate with stores, say, hey, listen, I want to do a mailing, a gift to my community. Can you give me a discount? You won't have to pay for the advertising, but I'm going to advertise your business, but I'm looking for a coupon. So you can do that. Top 10 reasons to list your home before the end of the year. That's a great mailing piece to send out to people. Family disaster, we're starting to see it's that time of year with weather. So as a matter of fact, we had a hurricane warning here in the Northeast. I'm in Long Island, New York. Some of our power agents were concerned about, in Connecticut as well, in Massachusetts. Anyway, Julie, I didn't tell you this. I actually went to the Power Program website and I looked up our disaster plan to get ready for the hurricane. So I know we did this. So I had to look for it in the site. And if they have pets, we actually created one for pets as well.
I was just going to say, you need that one at your house.
Yes, we do. We got a lot of pets here at Power Headquarters House. Vacant land letter. I'm not going to go through all these. Absentee owner, because we're running out of time. Trusted home resources, recommending local vendors. People are always looking for that recommended gardener, contractor, handyman, electrician, etc. Put it together. Now, I want to show you something about newsletters. What did I say, gang? There's no competition in the mailbox for you, number one. Number two, what's old is new again. And one of the things that one of our power agents love the newsletters. I want to show you these newsletters. And for the guests, I encourage you to become power agent. You get access to all this. But if you don't want to be a power agent, find a company that does newsletters. I'm going to show you examples of how powerful a newsletter can be. Sell your home with more paint. So there's a little paint tip, and then there's a back. This is, again, it's about consistency, having people know your name, face, and what you do for a living, and if it's themed around like this, St. Patrick's in March, and then we got the spring in April, curb appeal. So anything that you can customize with the time of year, June, and then July, we got 4th of July, your real estate expert. Now, Power Agents, by the way, all of this can be customized. So if you don't even like some of our tips, you can edit it out. You can change a tip, but we design everything for you. Now, I want to show this. There's another concept you can do in your monthly mailings to people, and that is greeting cards. Now, the thing about greeting cards is they're much more expensive than postcards or letters. So you may want to do this in a 12-month period just once or twice, or just do it for your high-end people you've started dialogue with. Now, Power Agents, so this could be a supplement to a monthly. If, let's say, you had 10 people respond to the home seller's guide, those 10, well, those are high-end now leads. So if you've got 500, but these 10 got that report, maybe those 10, you would send them a postcard. Now we did aligned with AM Cards. Curtis, he did by the way, this webinar he did about appreciation marketing, it wasn't a sales pitch about his greeting cards. There was such great content in there. So that's why I'm showing it. But this company, we researched what this AM Cards does, everybody, is the postcards are handwritten. They're beautiful. They look real. Looks like somebody actually sat down and wrote out this handwriting. And so if you've got 10 high-end leads from your mailings and your farming, you may want to send them a card. Now, they actually have FSBO cards too, which I think are great, like the 14 safety tips if you're going to be a FSBO, 65 ways to help sell your home faster. And then they have some other cool things, custom messages. So really, I know I know a few of our power agents, they are raving about these greeting cards. And you can actually order gift cards, and they'll put the gift card in with the greeting card as well. Gang, the greeting cards are more expensive, right? So I would only use it for clients or people who started to respond to your mailing campaign. And you can just send out one, by the way. You don't have to send out, 10 greeting cards. If you talk to one of the 10 and you had a nice conversation and you want to do that little something special, then you go to AM Cards or Power Agents, you go to the portal and bing, you send them a nice card. Thanks for the conversation. It was lovely getting to meet you over the phone. I look forward to helping you with all your real estate needs. By the way, here's my personal cell. Feel free to call me. Bada bing. Okay, door knock. Now, in this campaign, we've been mailing. Now they got to see your face. A little, I guess you're going to be a celebrity now because you've been sending them stuff. One of our Power Agents, Larry Gardner, he's a great guy, very enthusiastic, very passionate guy. He's super. He does door knocking like nobody else. I'm going to show you one of the pieces that he did. But here, let me give you an example of door knocking. It says, "Hi, this is Darryl Davis, Power Realty. How are you? Fine. I hope." By the way, I just want to say something about Larry. The guy, you see what he's on track to do. I think he closed already over 70 transactions. He's a super power agent on Long Island. So. And he does a lot of door knocking. So anyway, here's some sample dialogue. I hope I'm not interrupting you. The reason why I'm stopping by is I've been sending you some information about the market, about what's going on in the neighborhood. Have you been getting it? Very similar to the telephone, but now we're doing it face-to-face. Great. I'm also want to introduce myself. Here's something of value to you or a little gift for you. If there's anything I can ever do for you and your family in regards to real estate, my number's at the bottom, and that's it. Oh, by the way, I've also offering this to the neighbors. So that's where you give something of value as well. Now, we call this door knocking smile stops. Let me tell you why we call it smile stops. Because the acronym for SMILE, if you see the screen, the S stands for service. You're focusing on them, not you. You're meeting face to face. The I is invite them to share. So when you do door knocking, you're dropping off that something of value or you're introducing yourself. You want to get them. You have, as Eric Riley just said, as Sue Wong said, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. You communicate in that proportion. So you want to ask questions to have them talk. L, you're going to leave a token behind a flyer. It doesn't have to be a gift, gang. When you do door knock, it could be just a flyer of some kind. You can have several flyers, staple it together. Power agents, it's all written for you. And then you elevate the relationship. Okay, like I said, power agents, we have smile stops for every month of the year. But one of our smile stops is just gives one idea. One of our flyers gives you one idea in all 12 months. So let me give you an example. Going October, you can stop by with a pumpkin carving kit with a little note that says, let me carve out some time to talk about real estate. Thanks for being a great client. If it's a past client, if it's not, you just take that off. Apple pie, any way you slice it, you're appreciated. I love the wrapping paper one. Thanks for helping me wrap up the great year. Or you can, again, if it's not even a past client, you just tweak it and say, it's we're wrapping up the new year, looking forward to 2022. Hopefully, we won't have a pandemic then. Anyway, we've got one of our, Mary Boomdog, one of our power agents. She did these little peep things. You know that marshmallow sugar candy that's like one of them is like, I don't know, like 500 calories. If you see on the card, it says, do you have any peeps with real estate needs? I can help. Call, text, or email me anytime. I love the texting thing. You tell people to text you. I got a business card from a salesperson. It's not on my desk right now. Anyway, I was looking at it this morning because I reached out to them, and instead of it saying cell phone, it said cell/text and then the number. Well, of course, it's the same thing, right? It's the cell phone. You can text. But when I saw the text on the card, I never saw that before. And I actually said, oh, wow, I could have just texted. It actually motivated me to use the number that he had there. There's Larry Gardner, the power agent I told you about. This is him. He had customized ice cream scoopers, and these are inexpensive. Just going door to door to everybody. Here, we've got the scoop on the real estate market, and he did it, co-branded it with his mortgage and loan officer. And then we've got, you want to take a crack at real estate, let Paige help you find the prize. You won't be jacked on your real estate transaction, and it's a box of Cracker Jacks. These are not expensive. These little tchotchke things with a cute little something and with your card. So here's what we said. So in month one, you want to prepare, and we just covered a whole bunch of that. You want to then start your supercharged mailing campaign every other week, sending out something. And I only touched the surface, power agents, of everything we have for you. These are just the samples. Month three is then you're going to start doing your calling. And you've got to schedule those times of days and hours that you're going to do it. If you just did 1 hour a day at a just like going to the prospecting gym, you're going to you're going to the physical gym to work out. You go to the prospecting gym the same day, same time every day for 1 hour, and to start calling those farm area people that you've been mailing to. And then, of course, go from the every other week campaign to monthly. And then the last thing is start going door to door and face to face with these people. Now, we have a bunch of questions, and we're going to stay now for questions. But I have a gift for everybody that is not a power agent. So if you're not a power agent, I want you to see what we're going to do for you. And once I go through this, then we're going to go to questions. Okay. So first of all, I suggest if you're not a power agent, I invite you to check this program out for $5. That's all it is for a whole month. You'll have complete access. You'll be like a full-fledged power agent. And the bonuses you're going to get today are incredible. And you can cancel anytime. If you decide to continue after the 30 days and the $5, then it's $47 a month. But again, you cancel anytime. There's no long-term contract. Some power agents say, man, just the bonuses are worth the whole year, and you can do it for $5. Here's what the program is. Every Monday, we have live coaching calls. It's not like this webinar where I can't talk to you. You can write your question, and I will answer it in a minute. But on the Monday coaching calls, you can actually talk to me. We can role play. You have a question. It's a group call. So we get, a couple of hundred power agents every Monday on that call. They run about 2 hours. But you don't have to stay the whole time. You can email questions in advance to kind of jump the line. It's a little trick I have for you. When you email, you get at the top of the list on the questions. Celeste, one of our power agents, a long-standing power agent, said, I set aside the coaching time every Monday on webinars every Wednesday. If I have a question, I know I can call also the Facebook group and directory. I'll show you that in a minute, which is awesome. Webinars on demand. These are recorded. So this recording is going to be available to you that you can download and listen to. The Power Agent Facebook group is an incredible network of ideas and other folks. We use it as a training platform as well, along with our Power Agent website. Now, just to give you a sense of the website, this is the dashboard, and the magic happens in the classroom. When you go to classroom, there's all of these things to help you in your business, specifically to skills. So we're a skill training company, right? So if you need help with buyers, I'm going to jump around farming and separate listing appointment, negotiating offers, right? So let's just like this is the topic we were doing today. There's over 600 forms, flyers, checklists, and ladies and gents, everyone, if it's for a civilian, it's also transcribed in Spanish, and you can customize it. You open up the file, and every dot, letter, word, you can customize. There's also a tab where there's a favorite section, right? So if you like of the 600 and it's like, I'm overwhelmed, but I love this one, I want to look at it later, you tag it and it goes into a separate folder that's just associated with your account. So which is pretty cool. And if, let's say, we use a similar technology of Google, right? So if you had a question about FSBOs and you type in FSBO, bada bing, everything FSBO related, whether it's a dialogue, a flyer, a social media graphic, a mailing piece, whatever, it'll show up. So it's really easy to find things when you use the search function. Bud, one of our power agents, used to, when I do the live seminars, I go to cities once a year, and the pandemic kind of threw us off on that. But, you know, Bud saying, man, I get access to Darryl anytime. I'm sure he's on the call now. He's on the calls usually. So shout out to him. By the way, if you're a current power agent, if you wouldn't mind helping the non-power agents, tell them if you like anything about the program, what's your favorite thing about the program. Also, my company, we keep a copy of these chats. So it helps us. Like if you tell us the things that you're really loving, that helps us as well to help you. So power agents, do a shout out and tell me what you like about the program. With that said, here's the bonuses that we have for you guys. If you are, oh wait, I think I got the wrong side. Here we go. So here's the bonuses that we have for the guests. If you sign up for those $5, you're going to get a PowerPoint slide deck on how to do a listing appointment. It's 103 slides and it's customizable. It's PowerPoint, plus a recording on how to deliver that. Because my batting average is really great with FSBOs. I'd list 7 out of 10 their first time going on the appointment. So that'll help you. There's an e-guide that we wrote because of this crazy market with the multiple offers and buyers getting frustrated and sellers not sure how to do this. So we created a guide that you take credit for. You put your contact information on it as if you wrote it, and you give that to your buyers when they're ready to make an offer, or you give it to your sellers when you're the listing agent before the offers start coming in. That's incredible. If you're a new agent or an experienced agent looking to restart your business, we wrote something to help reinvent yourself from scratch. So that's a 29-page book we're going to give you. Our most requested dialogues is another gift you're going to get today, along with how to set up a Facebook business page for those people that need that. A breakthrough business plan we have for you, which is important that you start considering that now to get ready for 2022. These predictions, are we still doing the predictions as well, Sarah? Now I'm starting to question this. I think
we're writing the 2022 ones as we speak.
We are writing the 2022 predictions, but we still have the 2021 for you. I think all of them have come true. There's still some more that are not haven't come to fruition yet, but the year's not over yet. Lastly, you're going to get a copy of the slides. You're going to get a copy of this webinar and a CRM if you need one. Everything on this page, that's what it would cost you to buy it, but you get it for only $5. And if you decide to cancel during the trial or anytime, you get to keep everything that's on the screen, which that's a real deal. All right. So I invite you to do that. All right. Let's go to the questions, Julie. So what do we have?
As well as all the guides that you talk, because we've had a lot of questions in the last 20 minutes about how do I get the guides, where are the guides? So if you could show that on the classroom, but that's also, it's not included on this bonus slide, but all those, the seller's guide, the buyer's guide, the moving guide are all part of the program as well.
So let me show you where the guides are. So there's a couple of ways to do this. First of all, if you go to Classroom, gang, almost everything that I showed you, if you go to farming, you're going to find in the farming, watch this, there is the buyer's guide right there. So you see that? That's the buyer's guide. Now, along with that, there is a social media ad that you can customize to promote the guide, along with a postcard to promote the guide. There is also the next guide is the Easy Move guide. There is the that's the social media offer. This is the e-guide right there. There's a farming guide. There's some other guides for kids. If you just did this as well, if I just type in the word guide, you'll see. Watch what happens. And there's the seller's guide offer. There is the buyer's guide. There is the actual guide itself. So that's another way to find it, is just type in guide. But it's going to be in the farming is where most of the guides are. And by the way, one other thing. If you ever have a question about the site, you'll see this little chat function there. These are real human beings that are standing by. Like they're all there now. Every Wednesday, we have all hands on deck because we know we get a lot of questions like this. So you can just send a message and a live human being will respond back to you. And they'll give you a phone number too if you prefer to talk. But that's where we start the conversation. Next question, Julie.
What are your thoughts about Craigslist?
Craigslist, for what purpose? Like for you to run your own ad or to generate leads from it? I think, what?
She wasn't specific, but I believe it's to run your ads.
Yeah, if you were going to run ads, I think that's fine. Sure. Craigslist is good. I know some power agents that do that.
Lisa says, how can we impress upon buyers what you have created for sellers about Zillow? All of my buyers are using that darn website.
Yeah, I think
that new postcard.
Yeah, I think if you just, I'll tell you that Zillow postcard is the language you can use it. So let me just tell you again what the language says. That banks, title companies, appraisers, buyer, they don't use Zestimates or even estimates. Forget about Zestimates. They don't even use estimates. They use actual document data that is adjusted, that a human being has to adjust it based on things that you can't see on just paper, right? So that's why Zestimates is a marketing gimmick. It is not a real scientific formula to determine how much you can sell your house for or how much you should pay for a house. It's a marketing gimmick, period, end of story. Next question, Julie.
How can you find out who your competition is in a farm area?
You should know. You know, if you're working that area, if you're going to work that area, you should know. Now, if you're new to the area, and that's why you don't know, the other way is to go to your MLS and look at all the sold transactions or properties listed and sorted by the listing agent, and that's another way to find it. I saw a question that's coming up from Lisa. Where are the Smile Stops located? Lisa, the Smile Stops, and I'm going to publish that now. So Lisa, the Smile Stops are in the farming tab of the website, and everything's alphabetical. So what I did was I went down to S's, and there's the seller's guide, by the way, right here. There's the social media offer. But here is the Smile Stops for January, February, March, and etc. And and then there's the one for every season. This is the one that just gives one idea for every month of the year. Okay.
I love my
next question. What's that?
About the Zestimate postcard, since Zillow is a competing brokerage, isn't that against the rules?
Oh,
don't get me wrong, I love it.
Okay. No, it's not, because gang, okay, there is it's so frustrating, some of our leadership in NAR, because they give out bad information. Okay. Can you talk bad about, can you boycott a company that you don't like? Sure you can. If you don't like Wendy's or McDonald's, can you talk bad about it? Of course you can. So we're not talking about Zillow, the brokerage, which, by the way, the name of that company is Zillow, Zillow Homes, right? It's called the Zillow Group. We're talking about the company, the advertising branch of Zillow. That's who we're talking about. You know, the one that agents give advertising money to become a Zillow Premier agent. So we have every right to say negative about Zillow, the advertising branch. I'm not talking about Zillow, the broker. I'm talking about Zillow, the advertising company. We can say whatever we want about them. Hence why we designed a postcard that says, don't use estimates. Trust me. There's bad information that goes out to us, and it gets me, as you can tell, I get a little passionate about it.
Get a little heated about it.
Get a little heated about it because same thing about you can't call FSBOs. Don't get me started. All right, listen.
All right, well, that is one of the questions. We're in a state of emergency in New York, and we can't door knock or call.
Yes, you can. Oh my gosh, yes, you can. The attorneys for the NYSAR are wrong 1,000%. In a state of emergency, you absolutely can door knock and you can absolutely call a FSBO, because the state of emergency says you can't cold call, you can't solicit. We're not soliciting, we're not cold calling. We're responding to homeowners who put an ad with their phone number saying, I'm selling my house, call me. Those people are exempt from the state of emergency. We can call them because they're asking people to call them. And if there's buyer, listen, I'm telling you, I'm 100% right. So
you even have the attorney check it all out.
Listen, let me tell you something. Before I tell you, here's how it works, right? When I stand, see, I'm not nice off. I'm not political. I'm not a realtor that I got to worry that I'm going to upset somebody. I'm not going to get on a committee. I don't care. I care about agents, period, end of story. And it gets me upset when our association gives bad information that hurts agents' income because you listen to it, and so you kill off working. When I tell you that I'm 100% right, I have a law firm that I pay, and I say, I want you to tell me before I say I'm 100% right. Tell me. So I have them research it. All right. Anyway, let me go back to this. Do you see this over here? This is the Zillow postcard. Let's say you don't like this because you think you shouldn't use Spencer's, which, by the way, we're not even talking bad about Zillow. We're telling people don't use Zestimates to determine the value of your home. And the reason why we're saying that is because the CEO, that's what he said. It's quoted. I quote the article. He's saying he said you should hire a real estate agent. It's just a starting point. If you want an accurate price on your house, call an agent. So that's what we're saying. We're using his words to promote it. And by the way, if you don't like it, bada bing, look what I just did. I just deleted. So here's my point. Everybody, you can customize the heck out of these cards, man. You can put anything in. Anyway, so that's the next question, Julie.
I love when you get passionate about stuff. Darryl, what do you do when there's no soliciting in subdivisions?
Okay, now that's different. So if you've got a subdivision that is, if you have a subdivision that is gated and they won't let you door knock, that's different. But you can mail them, you can call them, so you're fine. I will tell you, I can almost argue. Do me a favor, gang. Look up the definition of solicitation, and you will find that most of what we do, that we're not soliciting. Soliciting means you're selling something. Like if you're selling stocks or bonds or, aluminum siding back in the day when people used to do that. We're not doing that. We're offering things of value. We're introducing ourselves. We're not asking for business. We're not asking for people to pay us. We're not selling cookies. Girl Scouts, you see, Girl Scout cookies, door to door, that's soliciting. Why? Because they have a box of cookies and they say, would you like to buy my cookies? That is solicitation. You are not going door to door to people saying, would you like to pay me a 7% commission for selling it? You're not doing that. You're giving something of value. I got marshmallow peeps over here. I'm giving you, and here's my card. If you need anything, just reach out to me. No obligation. That's not solicitation. Okay. Next question, Julie.
What if an agent owns a niche but is about to retire? He has a team. So I guess you're asking, how do you get business from that?
So you have a team and you're retiring, or
I think she knows somebody that's about to retire that owns the niche. So I think.
Oh, okay. So what you could
get that market share.
Yeah, what you could do now. I don't have that. Okay. So, but I'll coach you through it if you're a power agent. We can talk about it after this webinar. But what you can do, the deal that you can do with an agent who's retiring is they can sell you their book of business. So, if it's valuable, so can they tell you how many people are in their book of business, how much they generate in referral business and repeat business? Like, what's that number? Like, so if they can quantify the value of their book of business, and let's say it's that book of business generates $50,000 a year, what you can say is, well, I'll make you an offer and buy it for 1 year's worth of revenue. I'll pay it to you over a month-to-month basis for a year, 2 years, whatever number you want to do. Or you can give them 10%, 20% of every deal that comes from the book of business for the next 3 years. You'll work their book of business. You'll give them access. So there's ways to do that. Okay, next question, Julie.
When I sign up to be a power agent, will I receive all the info from today's webinar?
Yes, you'll have complete unrestricted. Look at, this is just one tab. These are all farm. Look at all the letters that we have. This is just from farming. But and then there's the postcards, then there's the flyers. There is so much. You'll have complete access to it. You'll get a copy of this recording. you get everything. So you'll get access to the power group. You'll get access to the directory. The directory, new power agents, make sure you fill out your profile. See, we got some people here. They didn't fill out their profile. We have so many power agents that are actually making money from the directory because other power agents are referring business to these. And we're seeing more and more stories because what happens is, see, there's a good group of power agents. What happens is if I'm looking for an agent in New York, I can search for that member, I can search for that agency, and I can find, I need somebody on Long Island to refer business to. And so that's incredible. That's a lot of that's happening. Did I answer the question?
You did. Can you cancel anytime?
Anytime. Cancel anytime.
Can I send individual greeting cards directly from your platform?
Yes, what you would do is you would go to greeting cards. You click on, I'm not going to click on it now because it's going to launch. It brings you to AM Cards. So AM Cards is the other vendor. But when you click through as a power agent, you get a discount that carries over some tech thing or whatever. So you want to make sure that you click through that tab. And you can't click through it unless you're already signed in. So
right, you get wholesale pricing that way, and there's no setup fee that way, and there's no monthly fee that way. So definitely go through the portal.
Yeah, they charge, AM Cards charges a monthly fee, a setup fee, and the cards are more expensive. So the three ways they make money: the setup fee, the per piece fee, and the setup fee, the monthly, and all power agents. It's all gone. The monthly fee and the setup fee and the per piece is lowered. So that's what we did for power agents. All right, next question.
I love it. We have lots of questions on how do I get the phone numbers and how do we get the phone number vendors? Lots of phone numbers.
I don't know what they mean by phone vendor.
So how do you get phone numbers? So Red X and Cold Directory. You can get the coupons for those vendors in the Tech Tools and Training tab.
Yeah. So if you wanted to download to get phone numbers from your farm area, you're going to either use the Red X, and I just clicked on it. So I'd have to, this is wanting me to sign up, but once you're signed up, that link will bring you to Red X. Okay. So you'll be logged in, and so you'll get GeoLeads. So there's that. The other one is the Cold Directory. So if you go to Tech Tools and Training, because it's a tech company, that's where you're going to get there's a lot of coupons. Whoops, sorry, that we have negotiated for you guys. But there's the Cold Directory. You'll get a $200. I said it was $450. I was wrong. It's $200 credit with them, and plus how to use some of the tech as well. All right, next question, Julie.
Absolutely. If a prospect wants a hard copy of the sales guide, how do we get one?
Okay, so let me show you how to do that. So it's really simple. So, which I will tell you, some power agents, they actually they use the seller's guide on listing appointments because it's so awesome. So I'm going down to S. Now, by the way, there's all postcards, power agents. Some of the postcards you saw me do today, like the Zillow and your house is in high demand. So that's all under postcard in farming. So again, it's alphabetical, smile stops. So if I go to seller's guide, there's the seller's guide. Now, when I open this, if you can see on my screen right now, it's downloading the guide. Now it's saying it's going to take 3 minutes because the guide is over 40 pages and it's got beautiful graphics. So I'm going to continue to talk. It'll be done in 2 minutes, it says, and then I'm going to show you how to print a hard copy of the guide in 2 minutes.
Awesome. While we're doing that, when offering reports and these other things for free, things that nobody ever charges for, what happens when somebody asks you what you normally charge? Isn't that misleading? You're not saying you would charge for it.
No, you're not charging for the seller's guide or the CM or the neighborhood market report or any of those things. It's free. So
you don't have to put a value on it. So it's not misleading. You don't have to put a value on it. They can see the value in the fact that it's 43 pages and by the way, once you open that, all this content that's in these guides, you can repurpose that content however you want. You can use it for social media. You can put it on your blogs. It's all copy and you can copy it out and paste it wherever you need it.
Right. If I can open, let me see if I have a Word document that I can open. So, so let's say that pro photography, sir. No, that's not a good one. I'm trying to figure out. There's so many good letters here, but none of them would have what you just said. You know what? Here's okay. Let's do this. Let's say you wanted to, while that's opening up, I'm going to open up this FISBO letter. Now, the FISBO letters are usually done in Microsoft Word, which makes it even easier, right? So let's say I wanted to post something to homeowners thinking about their selling. You know, as you probably know, my target market is a little bit more sophisticated than the average. This is my fourth letter to you. So no, we wouldn't use that part. You may not be aware when you list with me, I will write a copy of an ad for you on your new property, tremendous amount of buyer activity. So my point, what Julie's trying to say is I just randomly pick something, maybe not the best thing, but if I was looking for something to post on social media or in an email, you can, a lot of the content that we have in the site here is written for you. There is so, I can't, it would cost you tens of thousands of dollars to hire somebody to create all this content for you. And so the great thing is the way we design this is you can copy, cut and paste and use it in other places like Julie was just saying. So let me open up the seller's guide, which would be a better example of that. Now, this is done in PowerPoint, and it's so huge, we created a table of contents, right? So let me just scroll through this. Understanding the housing market, real estate cycle, seller's market, buyer's market, a balanced market. Is now a good time to sell? Putting your home on the market. So if you wanted to, let me scroll to a piece here. Who's involved in the sale of your home? There's you, there's the seller's attorney, there might be a buyer. This is all like a news article or a post that you can copy and paste on social media or create a postcard or create a flyer. Some of this stuff you can just print out. Oh, and that was the question. How do you print out a hard copy? All you have to do is go file, print, and then choose your printer. And if you have a color printer, you can then tell the color printer to bind it if you have that. So this is the color version, and that's how you do. Just do file print because it's in PowerPoint. Okay, did that answer the question, Julie?
I think so.
Okay.
Perfect. If you can't get phone numbers, you just go straight to door knocking?
Yes. Yep.
Perfect. Where are the new ideas that came out of the brainstorming?
Oh man. So Power Agents, here's where you go for that. Let me find my web. So Power Agents, you'll go to, you'll start at
Webinars on demand.
Webinars on demand. And so if I go to Classroom, okay, and I go to the bottom, again, everything's alphabetical, Webinars on demand. And if we put the webinars, these are weekly, right? So we post them in order of, so the most recent one is here. So today's webinar will shift everything over, and today's webinar will be here and the brainstorming will be there. When you click on the webinar itself, and every webinar is exactly what I'm showing you here, what's going to happen is the recording of the webinar is there at the top, and then the slides, like today's slides, will be underneath it for you to print out. Because this was brainstorming, not slides, we wrote a book, and that's where, to answer your question, that's where it is. And then you can download it, and I'll actually download it for you so you can see what it looks like. And it's 13 pages of ideas, and there's 60 ideas, and whenever it was a website or a link, we gave you that link as well. There's some incredible softwares. This, I'm telling you, Power Agents, this one guide has so much great content in it for you. So please check it out. Okay.
You know, it's, while you're talking about that, those people, the agents that were asking about the gated community, I know Yvette was sharing, she has a postcard that she sends out if she's going to be at an open house or she's going to be at a showing. She sends that out in advance, inviting the neighbors to stop by the house while she's there to answer any questions. So
that was one of the ideas
in a community already that's gated.
That was one of the ideas that came out of the brainstorming, was doing a postcard mailing to invite people to the open house when she's going to be in the area. Yeah, that's good.
Exactly. Is the CRM included with the trial? Can we get assistance loading the mailing list into the CRM?
Yeah. So the CRM is not part of the $47 a month, and here's why: is because some power agents already have a CRM, like with like Top Producer or something like that. So we had it as a separate charge, so that way power agents that didn't need a CRM, they weren't paying for it. So that's one of the reasons why we're able to keep the price, this discounted price, at $47. If you don't have a CRM, this Power Builder is an additional $49 a month. But as part of your bonuses today, you can try it for 30 days and pay $0. Now, as far as getting your contacts transferred from an old CRM into the new one, this company, the engine that has it, will do it for help you and talk you through it and hold your hand. Do they do it for you too, Julie, or no? They just tell you how to do it.
No, I think they walk you through it. They have a concierge service that actually, they get on the phone with you. They walk you through it. I believe you can even send them your Excel spreadsheet or your CSV file, and they help you with all of that. So
now I will tell you, if you go down to the tech tools and training, this I always say that this is all Julie, because what Julie did, because I'm not a tech guy. Now I'm tech savvy, but I teach, what to say, when to say, and how to say when you're belly to belly, face to face with a buyer or seller, like how to call a FISBO next buy. Like tech, I ain't ever teaching tech. So Julie, what she did was she hired tech specialists and interviewed them, and it became this really robust. So for example, the CRM, getting to know the CRM, the Power Builder, and then there was another one, how to use any CRM to stay top of mind. So there's that training. We also have other training on how to use RPR, Curbio, which is incredible. I love Curbio, and because whatever, I'm going to start talking about it. There's how to write LinkedIn ads, how to write LinkedIn bios. So there's so much great tech, how to use PowerPoint, how to use Zoom, how to use Canva. Anyway, so there's a whole tech section there for you guys, and it's great content.
Awesome. Melba says, I just signed up as a power agent. Welcome, Melba. How do I start? I would use that onboarding. It's a great way to not get overwhelmed, and to really combine best practices and the best tools in the system for really getting started.
So one thing I didn't say about this onboarding, what you'll notice is that some of them are grayed out, because module 1, module 2, module 3 is grayed out because we haven't finished writing it yet. We're doing it each week because we want you to kind of do it weekly to just absorb everything. But that's what Julie's saying. Start with this onboarding training for you, and it'll really help you. We didn't want to wait to have all the modules up. We wanted to get it rolled out right away. So, for example, make a plan, download the Breakthrough Business Plan. When I click on that, bada bing, there is the Breakthrough Business Plan, which you actually are getting as a bonus anyway when you sign up today. But there's another link for it, and this plan is 43 pages. It's the best business plan for realtors, because what we gave you was 3 plans in 1 plan: how to generate now business, how to stay focused and motivated, what to use, how to generate future business, and how to build financial freedom. So this is an incredible plan. So that we have that for you. But anyway, goals and vision board. So there's all these little things. When you click on it, you don't have to find it on the website. There it is for you. So anyway, that's where we suggest you start. Next question, Julie.
Wonderful. Thank you. Sandra says, we have several high-end listings and acreage in Syracuse. We would like to market in other areas, other states. Do you have marketing materials for that type of thing?
Yeah, because of our content is, you can customize it so much. What I suggest you do is, when it comes to mailing pieces, promotional pieces, the best place to go is the farming and self-promotion. But there's still other stuff. So what I suggest you do is, as you're poking around, right? So if you're going to, let's say, prospecting, let's go to prospecting. And if, let's say, there's some really great stuff that you can actually create a mailing piece around. There's all the dialogue, by the way. And let's say you like something that's a promotional piece, but you know what? Let me just show the dialogue. So this is not a promotional piece because I want to illustrate something. Okay, no. Let's do this. Let's do the USA Today article that shows it's already favored. Sorry, give me a second. Let's go to the famous FSBO dialogue. So if I go to the FSBO dialogue, and I really love that because I heard Darryl, this is magical dialogue because it is, and I click on favorite, what'll happen is of all the stuff that's on the screen, if I go back to the classroom and I go to favorites, when I click on favorites, everything that I tagged in the site is associated with my account. And there is the door knocking dialogue, by the way, that I favorited one time, and it's done in order. So there's the FSBO dialogue I just favorited. So that's what I suggest you do is poke around the site. And when you see something that, wow, I think I really like this, or I know I really like this, put it in your favorite folder. Next question, Julie.
Thank you. I'm a new agent. How do I learn about my competition strengths?
As far as that question is concerned, I wouldn't worry right now as a new agent about your competition strength because there's and their weakness, because there's so much for you to learn right now. So what I suggest is ignore that part for a new agent. Just find an area that you're passionate about, that you want to work and nurture and prospect, and don't worry about whether there's competition or not for right now. Okay.
Perfect. Eva wants to know about Every Door direct mail. Do you suggest that? And also, our landing page is part of the program.
We have some samples of the landing pages, and we actually recorded a video for you on how to use it. The lead pages, the landing page company so it's not lead pages. There it is. So we don't do landing pages. Nobody does, because that is a separate business. It's complicated, right? So there's two premier landing page companies. One is ClickFunnels and the other one is Lead Pages. We use Lead Pages. So what you could do is set up an account. It's not expensive. If I go to pricing, oh, that's interesting. I've never seen that before, Julie.
What's that?
They started with the highest number first. I always see this be the lowest number. So that's interesting. So it's $27 a month, but you can have a free account. But if you did this, you get some more bells and whistles. You get one page. And they have a software that you can see what's happening on the screen right now. So think like Canva, but as a mini website. It's not a website with several pages. It's one page. Anyway, what we did is we recorded a video on how to use Lead Pages for the material that we wrote for you, so to make it easier for you to get up and running. Okay.
Thank you. Danielle says, if I ever leave New York, I'm totally using the Power Program. You can use it in New York, Danielle. What about Do Not Call list?
The Do Not Call list. Yeah, what about it? So here's what I'll say about the Do Not Call list. If your broker says to not call somebody who's on the Do Not Call list, that's a FSBO, then you listen to your broker. So your broker is the boss of your license. If your broker doesn't have a policy, if somebody is on the Do Not Call list and they are a FSBO or an expired, you 100% can call them with no issues whatsoever. That's all I'll say for now. Next question.
Do you have material for social media the same as you have like postcards and letters?
Yeah, we absolutely do. So let me go back.
Section of the website.
We do a whole section of the website. So if I go to Classroom and if I go to social media, then these are all designed to be social media ready. So we sort it again. So we have some animals, we have funny, we have holiday, and we have after holiday, we have, what do we have after? Well, there's a lot of holiday, Jules.
Well, there's a lot of holidays.
There's a lot of holidays. We have inspirational. So we've got that. And I just noticed Les Brown, my buddy's there, but where's mine? I don't have a quote.
Oh, we need Darrylisms up there.
We should have some Darrylisms, miscellaneous social media stuff. So, and by the way, I will tell you, the postcards, you can tweak the postcards because, again, the fact that they're designed on social, like in come and scan PowerPoint, you can edit this and make. If I change the design size of this, right? So I'm not going to do it now because it's going to get lost in in the weeds here. But if I change the size here to something that would be appropriate for social media, again, I'm not going to do that. Well, I'll just do this. So what'll happen is ensure fit. So now it shrunk it, and then I can edit this out and crop it, and then save it as an image. So you can take any of the postcards that we created for you and convert them into a social media as well. Next question, Julie.
Thank you. Advice for new agents on how to get listings.
Somebody said, how long is it? I got to run. I won't be able to sign up until later. Margie, the offer is really good just for now. So I would say if you've got to run, it'll take you 30 seconds. If you hit that start my trial, it's going to ask for your contact information and your credit card, and bing, you're done. So I would say click on that right now before you go, and it'll take you less time than how it took me to actually answer the question. Next question, Julie. I'm sorry. So that was from Margie.
It was advice for getting new listings.
Advice for getting new listings
For new agents.
For new agents. I'm going to tell you that there's no specific new agent like suggestion. So I'll show you something else though. Here's what you would do. If you go to, let me scroll faster to the top and just type in activity. So there's a chart that we created called your daily activity chart. And this chart, you should print it out and hang it out if you're a power agent. And here it'll say, all right, here's the days of the week: call past clients, send out 50 letters, FSBOs expired, social media, smile stops, call orphans. You don't know what that is. And with that, so what you should do is print that out, and every day at least trying to do one item. So if every day you're doing at least one thing to get your name face, what you do for a living, and have conversations with people, if you do that for 30 days, I guarantee you're going to get one listing, even as a new agent.
And by the way, not just new agents, every power agent should be printing that out every week. And if you're taking that, doing those activities every day, you're bound to get more listings. Also, in the webinars on demand, Darryl, you just did the how to get a surge of listings from one open house. That's great for new agents, right? Because if they don't have business already, that was an awesome webinar.
Yeah, so you're right. That's one of our best ones. So right there, so for that new person, and by the way, I see Karen Green's question. I'm going to answer that too.
Perfect.
But here, how to generate a surge of listings from one open house. So that is in the second column. I just did that about a month ago, and that's a really great webinar. So for that new agent, I recommend that, or Julie just did. But so do I. It's really awesome. Now, the tech tools and training, where am I for the I'm in the wrong place. That's why. Okay. So tech tools and training, which Julie, I think we need to combine that, but tech videos training. So how to use PowerPoint is right there. There's some Zoom training that we did for you, how to use Canva, but there's the PowerPoint one. Mm-hmm. There's the landing page tutorial. Again, how to write a real estate bio that gets read. How to use LinkedIn to increase your leads, the 5 mistakes in writing property descriptions. I'm going to tell you, gang, that was the bomb, that one. Mm-hmm. That writing property descriptions is so important to me when you get a listing and you write that description, that is like your billboard. That is so crucial. And this woman, Christy, just knocked the ball out of the park. So Power Agents, that you got to check that out. Next question.
She's a renowned real estate writer. So she joined us for 2 webinars to explain to you how to write compelling real estate copy.
Yep.
I'm
sorry, Julie, hang on a second, because Karen Jones and somebody asked the same question. I didn't answer it about the EDDM using the post office. So yeah, we recommend that. The EDDM, for those of you who don't know what it is, just Google EDDM and you'll learn about it. But the good thing about it is cheaper to mail a postcard, because what you're doing, you're giving, let's say, a carrier, a news carrier, a postmaster, postal
carrier,
a postal carrier person. They got their bagger to, and you give them 500 cards. Every house that they hit, they put it in the mailbox for you. So but it's not based. It's based on the carrier's route. That's the drawback. So if you have some leads that you want to do that's in 2 EDM areas, you're going to be saving money per piece, but you may be delivering to more people than you want to. So you've got to decide if the people that they're giving the houses to, if it makes sense for you to do that. So anyway,
and we did have an agent ask about Every Door Direct Mail and getting a vendor like a mortgage person or something to go in on the marketing with you. And whether you're doing EDDM or normal or regular direct mail, it's a great idea to share the marketing costs.
Exactly.
How can I start social media? How do I go about it? Do I hire someone? I don't have much knowledge.
Okay. Yeah. The first thing I would suggest that you do is when you sign up with the bonuses today, you get this 10 steps to set up your Facebook business page. So I would start there. So just start there. The most important thing about social media is do not try to learn everything there is to learn about it, because you'll get too overwhelmed and it'll disempower you. So it's kind of like, if you had to learn all 4 years of high school in the first month, like that's impossible. So there's a reason why school is several years, because it takes time. Same thing with social media. So just pick one. We recommend Facebook. Do those 2 steps, get acclimated there, get really good, then go to the next one. Next question.
Great analogy, Darryl.
Yeah.
Verna wants to know, how do I get phone numbers from RedX?
RedX has geo leads. So when you go to your RedX account, you'll see FSBO. They're separate: FSBOs, expireds, houses for rent, pre-foreclosures, geo leads. Geo leads is where you would get the list that would include the phone numbers.
And if you go through the classroom, you won't do a setup fee, and you get the first 30 days free.
Right.
Is the CRM free as well?
Yes, it is for the first 30 days.
Excellent. Darryl, can you show us how to get to the directory again, please?
Yes. So when you go to dashboard up here, or you can just do it in the classroom. There's 2 ways to get to it: dashboard or classroom. But at the dashboard, it'll say directory of Power Agents. And when you click on that, if you have not put your photo in, you just go update directory profile. And then I'm obviously not Sarah. But if I was Sarah and I didn't like my photo, which Sarah never does, I would click on update image, and now I'm in my computer's drives, and then I would find my photo and upload it there. And then the other most important thing is all your social media stuff there is you write it in there. When you hit update, that's when you can write it. But the most important thing is area served. So when you write, there's a big field there. But let's say you list every town. So if you do Houston, and then if there's a town outside of Houston, I don't know what that is, but you write every town. That's why that field is so huge. because when people type in Houston or type in another thing, that'll help find you. Okay.
If I have questions after today's webinar, where do I go?
Yeah, just click on that little bubble at the bottom right-hand corner of the website, darrylspeaks.com. And that's how you can chat with us. It's always there. It's on the shopping cart too now, and we'll help you. And if you want to talk to somebody, just say, can I call and speak to somebody? And you can do that too. So we're by the phones as well. And yeah, that's it.
Our number is at the top of that screen as well. So.
Oh, and you can actually, yeah, you can just, our phone number's there.
Excellent.
Now, there is a menu. There is a menu when you call. You may have to leave a message if we have a lot of people, but we promise you we do call you back, and we'll be there to help you.
And where you can talk to a live human being. How lovely.
And you can talk to a live human being, yes, because we believe in that.
Darryl,
Cool.
if I was a past power agent, how do I rejoin?
You should go to the website. You should go to the website. Go to darrylspeaks.com there at the bottom, and make sure that you use the chat function that's there, because we have to do something special to reactivate power agents. Don't sign up the traditional way, because then you'll have two records in the CRM that we have here. So you don't want to do that. So just reach out to us.
We can help you there. Excellent. Yep. I think that's all the questions.
All right, cool. So listen, gang, we are about to end this webinar. If you're still on with us, which there's so many people, first of all, thank you for staying so much after the webinar. That's number one. Number two is, as soon as we close this webinar, that little floating button is going to go away. Sarah, can you put that thing up again? So make sure that you click on it now while I'm talking, because in about a minute, I'm going to say goodbye, and that's going to go away. And so does the offer. So I suggest for $5, you cannot lose. You've got so much to gain. I would highly recommend that you get to know us and try it. Plus, everything that's on the screen right now, you're going to get to keep, which is an awesome deal. So it's well worth the $5. I am going to answer this one last question that just popped up from Orlando. Do we have a list of lists to mail to, pre-foreclosures, out-of-state landlords, vacant homes, and where can we find these types of lists? Orlando, same. There isn't a dedicated list of vacant homes. You would have to go to your town records, perhaps, so you can find that there. The other list I recommend you would get from Redex. Absentee owners, you'll get pre-foreclosures, you'll get so the vacant land is there, vacant homes is there as well. Charlton White registered, congratulations. Welcome to the Power Agent family. In choosing a niche, if I choose investors, I'm not sure what to use for farming. Melanie, great question. Melanie, with investors, it's obviously going to be a whole different set of items to send out. And because you're going to be talking about ROI and great new listing that came, already rented. So one of the places I love when it comes to investment real estate, because we invest as well, is Bigger Pockets. It's a membership like ours, Power Agent, but it's only just for investors and people who work with investors. So it's not for realtors, although there's many realtors that are members of that. It's investors. So it's a good place to get ideas and to find things. And so that's what I recommend there. Okay.
On our Power Agent brainstorming, we had quite a few agents that specialize in investors, and they shared all kinds of ideas, including the books that they have published and that kind of thing. So if you're a Power Agent, check out the Power Agent brainstorming, because there were lots of investor ideas in there as well. That's
right. That was in the brainstorming session that we just had.
Yes.
So the other thing too, if you're a Power Agent as well, the ideas and the plethora that comes from the brainstorm. This is the Facebook group for Power Agents. Now, again, this is a closed group, so nobody can join this unless they're a Power Agent. And there is so much great stuff in here. So if you had a question like, hey, is anybody doing investor postcards or working with investors? This is a great place to put that question mark out there and So anyway, so that's it.
Darryl,
All
how do
right.
I ask? I'm sorry, one more. How do I ask a question for the coaching calls on Mondays?
The way to ask that question is if you go to, let's close this. See, you have to be logged in for anything that I'm showing you. So when you go to Classroom and there's the coaching calls, which, we didn't even talk about this, Julie. First of all, these are recorded every Monday. So there is, see, this says an hour and 39 minutes, 2 hours and 5 minutes. So an hour and 40, this is almost 2 hours. So they go pretty long, but you can then listen to it. So if you can't be on the call and you email in advance the question, I'll record my answer to you. There is so much great content in this. Here's where you would answer the question, have a question for the call submitted here. And then it'll launch a form that you fill out and you just write your question. That goes to me, and that'll put you at the top of the list of the questions. I always start with these questions first. Then we open it up to the call.
Thank you. And those calls are at 11 o'clock Eastern on Monday. I know that question's probably coming in next.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. Now I think we're done, but we will see.
All right.
Every time we say we're done, we get another question.
All right. So those of you that became power agents, which I can see it was a tremendous amount. Congratulations. Welcome to the family. Don't get overwhelmed. We are just a chat away or a call away. So you can just call us and we'll walk you through anything that you need help with. We consider your participation very important because what you do is not just listen to real estate. You actually help people in a life-changing moment. They're going from point A to point B in their life. So the number of lives that you touch is amazing. And it's a ripple effect, like throwing a stone in the water. That's what you do, is you make a difference in the world. And so it is our honor to support you and help you get better at that, because that's what we're about. We want to make a difference in the world. So thanks for being here today. Please stay safe, stay focused. And as always, don't forget to keep smiling. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.